The world needs believers' prayer more than ever today. We realize the need of prayer more in times of problems, in times of need, or in times of a crisis. And the believer's prayer is very, very important and needed because we are the light of the world and we are the salt of the earth. That's why God says, if my people, and gave some conditions for the healing of the land. We need to pray. The Bible says, pray without ceasing. Pray always. Hebrews chapter 11 verse 6 says, it is impossible to please God without faith. Many times you may wonder whether you have that kind of faith to please God. But mind you, you cannot generate faith by yourself. This is the gift of God. Even the disciples went to Jesus and said, Lord, increase our faith. They also felt the lack of faith in their lives. In the Bible, there are some records of answering prayer without faith. Peter was in the prison, and the believers were gathered in the house of Mark's mother, the Bible says. And they were praying earnestly, sincerely they were praying for Peter in answer to their prayer. An angel came to the prison. Peter was bound. He was sleeping. The angel woke him out. When he woke up, he found that all the chains and the bonds just dropped by itself. The doors and the gates of the prison was all opened by itself. At about midnight, Peter went to the place where believers were praying. And Peter knocked at the door. And to answer the knocking of the door, a girl, Ruta by name, came to the door. And Peter said, knocking, he said, open, it is me, Peter. That girl, out of joy, did not open the door, but went back to the room where believers were praying and declared that Peter has come. He is knocking at the door. Believers refused to believe. That girl insisted that, yes, it is Peter. I could recognize his voice. But what did the believers say? Believers say that his voice we have recognized, that is his spirit. He is in the prison. You were praying, Lord, release Peter. But Peter was already standing at the door. They prayed without faith, but it was answered. Friends, your lack of faith will not hinder the grace of God. Your lack of faith will not hinder the plan of God, the power of God. Now, further, Zacharias was a priest, the father of John the Baptist. He was praying in the temple, and an angel came to him and said, Zacharias, your prayer is answered. Maybe he was praying for a son, because the angel said, your prayers are answered, and your wife will give birth to a son. Zacharias could not believe that. He said, no, impossible. I couldn't believe that. But that came to pass. His unbelieving prayer was answered. Why? If you have the thirst for God, if you love the Lord, if you have an obedient heart, God will answer your prayer in spite of lack of faith in you. Friends, whether your prayers are answered or not, prayer itself is a blessing. Prayer is your pouring out of your heart to God. Philippians chapter 4, verse 6 and 7 says, the peace of God that transcends or pass through all understanding, that guides your heart and mind, is the answer to your prayer. The peace of God is answer to your prayer. Friends, we need to pray these days more than before. Whether you have faith or not, with an obedient heart, having thirst for God, with the love for God, pray without ceasing.